So what new devices are Getac showcasing at this event?
So yeah, we've recently launched two brand new products. That's the F120 and the V120. They're really building on the legacy of two really successful products, the F110 and the V110. But we've brought those bang up to date. We've increased the size of the screen on both of the devices from 11.6 to 12.2 inch. So that's giving more real estate for that end user to interact with. But we've retained pretty much the same footprint. We've reduced them in terms of size and weight slightly.
So weight's massively important as well, isn't it?
Hugely important. They're mobile devices,
yeah.
Firstly, Phil, you know, the end user must be able to use that device for a full shift, you know, with whether that be 8 hours, 24 hours, yeah. Utilizing hot swappable batteries. You know, the devices need to be able to be used, whether they're carried, held in the hand.
Are these brand new devices or are they next generation types?
So they are brand new. You know, we've renamed them the V120 and the F120. Look, two devices, the F110 and the V110, have been hugely successful. We've had generations of those products and we've sold, you know, many into different markets. So what we've taken is the core of those devices and really made them better.
So you've taken the successful bits and you've turbocharged them.
Absolutely, that's the right word there. We've supercharged them, you know, and brought them bang up to life. They're both AI capable. Yeah. So the F1...
That's massively important nowadays. The AI thing is really lifting off, isn't it?
Well, more and more, you know, we're needing AI applications sitting on the edge, so that processing is taking place, you know, on the device itself. And the F120, we believe, is the first fully rugged Copilot Plus PC in a tablet form factor on the market.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's an achievement in itself.
Absolutely.
How do these devices improve on the F110, etc.?
Well, firstly, we've increased the screen size. So the previous device was 11.6 inch and these are now 12.2 inch. It doesn't seem a lot, but that's given more real estate for a device in essentially the same form factor. So we've reduced the size of the bezel on the edges of each of the devices.
Okay, so yeah, the actual device hasn't changed in size too much, but the screen size has.
The screen size has changed, and that's the important thing. We've brought them bang up to date with the CPU and NPU, so they're AI capable. Improved the battery on the devices, especially the V120, where we've changed the location of the batteries and we've introduced high capacity batteries. So, you know, these devices have really got long run time.
Wow, so you've really upped the offering completely.
Absolutely. And we've introduced some more I/O ports. So the Thunderbolt C ecosystem, you know, is becoming more and more. So we've introduced dual Thunderbolt ports on each of the devices.
We know in the defence sector that no two customers are exactly the same. Can you make devices specifically for people's requirements?
In essence, yes. So all our devices, you know, come in as standard options, so they can be configured for different use cases. So you can have 5G, 4G, for example, you can choose there. You can put RFID readers in there, fingerprint readers. But we know that, you know, in the defense sector, you know, that may not be a requirement. So customers can tailor those options to their own requirements and indeed take them all out. No comms, no cameras, you know, we can remove all of those. In addition to that, we've got a team of engineers who sit in Taipei who can take non-standard options, if you like, and introduce those into the tablets, and that could be specific MIL connectors, for example, that an end user needs to interface to other military equipment.
The new F120 is a co-piloted device. For me, can you explain exactly what that is?
Yeah, so Copilot Plus PC is basically a device that needs to meet some minimum requirements. So it needs to have a CPU and an NPU that can have up 40 plus tops terabyte operations per second. Alongside that, it must have a minimum of 256 gigabyte of storage and 16 gigabytes of memory. Once you hit those criteria, you can become a Copilot Plus PC. And what does that give you in essence? You know, that really is cutting edge AI capabilities sitting on the device. So you're not having to transfer data back and forth to the cloud to process that AI sort of applications and information. It can sit in the device, so that's increasing security. It's reducing costs in terms of data flow up and down through the network.
You really are on the front of the curve with these devices.
And as I say, the F120 in particular is the world's first Copilot Plus fully rugged tablet PC.
What makes the F120 and the V120 stand out from all the other gear that's on the market presently?
Absolutely. So, you know, firstly, we don't comment on on any other devices. We're very confident in our own product strategy, and we deliver against that. Firstly, we think about our users. You know, what's important to personnel that are working in the field remotely? It's battery life. It's being able to see the device, use the device under bright sunlight, under rain. You know, and we're thinking about weight. And all of those things need to be balanced. And we believe, you know, certainly with the F120 and the V120, we've got about the right balance there. The bigger screen size, got multiple options that end users can choose depending on their specification and their requirements. And ultimately, we have that customization ability where they can take the standard product and make that really fit for their specific use case, whether that's sort of a command control coordination or, you know, in-field military
end user is absolutely paramount in all of your decision making and processes.
We're thinking about that end user, and we're trying to balance all of the technologies to hit the requirements of that end user.
Superb. We've talked extensively about the F120 and the V120, but what other products have Getac currently got which would be of interest to the defence sector?
Sure. Well, we believe our whole product portfolio, you know, sort of sits within the requirements of the defence sector. We've got everything from a small 8-inch Android device up to our X600 server, you know, which is a mobile deployed server up to 22 terabytes of storage, 0 to 5 RAID configuration. So we got, you know, everything from 8-inch up to the 15.6-inch Android, Windows specifically, multiple form factors, fully rugged laptops, multiple tablets, and, you know, all of our tablets are detachable, in essence, with a keyboard as well. So there's a different use case there where maybe they need to work quickly, you know, finger touch onto the display, but then some report writing, you know, from intelligence gathering back at HQ, and they can use a keyboard.
So within the industry, if you want a rugged solution, you can pretty much cover it with everything that you've got at Getac.
I can honestly say I think we've got the one-stop shop. You know, we will have a form factor that hits the requirements of your end users for sure.
Superb. Well, listen, it's been fascinating talking to you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, Phil.